All right, everyone, get ready, because today we're diving headfirst into all things travel.
Should be interesting.
We're unpacking your source. Let's talk about traveling.
Yeah, this one's packed with good stuff.
And I gotta say, it really makes you rethink that whole idea of travel is just a luxury.
It really does.
From the first page, it's all about how travel pushes us out of our comfort zones.
Totally. It's like this catalyst for personal growth,
It totally is. And it reminded me of this time I was trying to navigate the Tokyo subway.
Oh, no.
With zero Japanese skills.
Just winging it.
Basically just hand gestures and hoping for the best. Such to say, I got very well acquainted with Google Translate.
I bet. But see, those are the moments that really shape you, right?
They totally are. I came home with a newfound appreciation for, Google Translate. And a lot more confidence, too.
Right. And it's not just about those kind of logistical victories, but those little wins build up those skills. Resilience, problem solving, adaptability.
And those are the souvenirs that never go out of style.
Exactly. They stick with you long after you've unpacked your bags.
It's so true. It's not just about the photos or the souvenirs. It's about who you become along the way.
100%.
But it's not all about conquering logistical hurdles, right?
Yeah.
The source also talks about how travel can be this culinary adventure.
Oh, absolutely. Trying new foods, it's like a crash course in a culture.
Totally. Remember that part about experiencing authentic sushi in Japan for the first time?
Yeah, it's about so much more than just the food itself.
Right.
It's the whole cultural experience tied in, the way it's prepared, the rituals around it, even just the social aspect of it.
It becomes this whole different way to connect with a culture, you're tasting traditions, history.
And it's delicious.
And speaking of insightful experiences, one thing I loved is how this source really dives deep into the lasting impact travel has on us. It's not just a fleeting thing.
Oh, it lingers, for sure.
Yeah.
It emphasizes how travel is less about, checking things off a bucket list.
Right.
It's more about expanding your perspective.
Totally.
Deepening your understanding of the world. And yourself, even.
Yes. There was this part, I think he was talking about, standing in front of the pyramids.
Oh, yeah.
And how it's not just about being awestruck by how impressive they are. It's about feeling this connection to history.
Totally. It's you're right there experiencing history firsthand. You can't get that from a textbook.
You really can't. It's you need that physical, tangible connection to wrap your head around the scale of it all.
Sometimes you gotta be there.
But it's not just about connecting with the past, right? The source also talks about how travel, especially solo travel, can be this incredible journey of self-discovery.
Stepping outside of your comfort zone, all your routines, your social circles, it forces you to confront your own beliefs.
It's true. And your own desires. What do you want when you're not caught up in everything else?
Exactly. It's like a crash course in self-reliance.
And resourcefulness.
Absolutely. And honestly, a little bit of facing your fears too, right?
Totally. It's like that moment when you realize, oh, I can do this. Navigate a foreign country, talk to people in a different language, handle unexpected hiccups along the way.
It's empowering.
Super empowering. And what's really cool is how this source doesn't just stop at personal growth, it goes bigger. It talks about how travel impacts the whole world, especially the global economy.
Absolutely, yeah. It makes you think about those ripple effects, every trip we take has this impact on the world around us, especially for developing countries.
Oh, for sure.
It's a huge economic driver for a lot of them, provides livelihoods for millions of people.
It's a good reminder, while we're busy planning our trips and packing our bags,
Yeah.
there's this whole other side to it.
There really is.
We're all connected. Our love of exploring new places can actually help people on the other side of the world.
It's a pretty powerful concept, and the source digs even deeper into that with the whole sustainable tourism angle.
Oh yeah, that was a really important point. It's not just about spending money wherever, it's about making sure it actually helps.
Exactly right. It's
Yes.
about being mindful of that footprint we leave behind.
For sure.
The source really emphasizes supporting those local businesses whenever you can.
Yeah.
Being respectful of the local customs, the environment, all of that.
Totally. That saying, take only memories, leave only footprints. But taking it a step further, making sure those footprints are as light as possible.
Exactly.
But beyond the economic impact, there's this whole other layer, right? The source talks about how travel can help break down cultural barriers and build a global community.
It's true. It's about going beyond just the surface level of being a tourist.
Right.
Really engaging with different cultures on a deeper level, stepping outside those comfort zones and interacting with people from all different backgrounds.
It reminds me of that quote from Maya Angelou, something like, "Perhaps travel can't prevent bigotry, but by demonstrating that all peoples cry, laugh, eat, worry, and die, it can introduce the idea that if we try to understand each other, we may even become friends."
It's so true. Those personal connections are so powerful. Sharing a meal with someone, hearing their stories, experiencing their traditions firsthand, it just changes your whole perspective.
It really does. It's like that aha moment where you realize we might do things differently, but we're all connected. We're all human.
Yeah.
But it's not just about breaking down barriers, right? The source also suggests that travel can spark creativity.
Oh, totally. Like new environments, especially ones that are completely different from your everyday life, they can really get those creative juices flowing.
It's true. It's like stepping into a whole different world. It makes sense. Our brains be like, working on overdrive.
The source actually uses the example of artists and designers who travel specifically for inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
Like think about the colors of a spice market in Morocco.
Right. So vibrant.
Or the architecture of ancient Rome.
It's like you're giving your imagination the passport to explore.
I like that.
But then beyond those external things that inspire us, the source also talks about how travel can lead to some serious self-reflection.
Yeah, it's like when you remove yourself from everything familiar, it creates this space for introspection, for really looking inward.
Like that saying, not all who wander are lost.
I love that one.
Sometimes you need to get lost to really find yourself.
100%. And the source talks about how solo travel in particular can be huge for this kind of self-discovery.
Oh, for sure. You're forced to rely on your own instincts. You're outside that comfort zone, so you're relying on your own resourcefulness.
Exactly. It can lead to some really profound realizations about who you are, what you're truly capable of.
It's that feeling of accomplishment when you navigate a city by yourself or order dinner in a language you barely speak and you nail it. It's empowering.
Absolutely. But one thing I thought was really interesting is the source makes it clear you don't have to hop on a plane to reap these benefits.
That's so true. You don't need a passport full of stamps to be a traveler. Sometimes the most rewarding journeys are right in our own backyard.
100%. Exploring your own city, your state, even just a nearby town you've never been to, it can be just as eye-opening as international travel.
And you know, it's funny. Sometimes those closer to home trips, they really catch you off guard.
Totally. You think you know a place, and then bam, it surprises you.
Exactly.
It's like the source says, at its core, travel is about curiosity, right? It's about approaching everything with this sense of wonder. Doesn't matter if it's a new continent or just a new part of town.
It's about being open to new experiences, new people, new food, everything. Like really embracing the unfamiliar and letting it change you.
And when you do that, when you embrace it, you really start to see the world differently. You appreciate all the little details, the differences, the connections,
Totally. It's like that part in the source where it says travel makes the world feel less like a bunch of separate countries and more like just this one big kind of messy but beautiful, interconnected, home.
It's a powerful thought, for sure. Especially these days, when it feels like everything's pushing us apart.
For sure. And the source really highlights that need for empathy, for understanding.
It's something travel does so well. It throws you into those situations where you have to connect with people who are different from you.
Yeah.
And you come out the other side with this whole new level of understanding.
It's about building bridges, not walls. It's about remembering that we're all human, even when we seem so different. And honestly, that's something that's really stuck with me through this whole deep dive.
It really makes you think.
It does. It's a good reminder that travel, it's more than just a vacation, right? It's an investment in yourself, in the world, in a better future.
It is. It's about opening your mind, challenging your own assumptions, and just being open to the unknown.
To those moments that take your breath away, those stories you'll tell forever, those connections you make with people you never would have met otherwise.
It's about letting yourself be changed by the world around you.
So as we wrap up this incredible deep dive, I gotta ask, where's your curiosity taking you next?
What will you discover?
Keep those bags packed, my friends, and those minds open, because the world is waiting. Safe travels, everyone.